Welcome to Radio Labyrinth, your pop culture goof gorgle culture cropcast. I'm your interim host, Steph Swain, and I'm co-hosting with Jeffrey Keys.
Jeffrey Keys. Why are you Jeff Keys again? I forgot.
It's actually the a play on Kesey, Ken Kesey, Keyz.
The acid guy.
Yeah,
right?
the guy that
I see. All right, I'm sorry. I'm ruining your intro. Go
I mean, I was gonna roll into Dustin. Then there's Dustin Lawler on the ones and twos.
I'm here on the threes and fours.
And then we got Ira Malkin
on the harmonica.
The harmonica.
Coming in last, but always first in our hearts.
I'm gonna stick around for a little bit. I'm gonna come in, say hello, see what you guys are doing. I need some television recommendations, and then I'm going to split.
All right, that sounds like most of the people that listen to the show.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, your band was very good the other night. That's how you got today.
I really appreciate you coming out. It was a nice surprise seeing you and Tony there, and that was fun. And thanks for saying. It was the first gig I've played in over a year, and I was like,
you couldn't tell by the sound of you guys.
Yeah, well, because
we're tight.
It's tight? No. That's what's called loose, Jeff. Very, very loose. That band after us was tight. They were tight as hell. Did you see them?
This was the first time you guys have played in how long?
I mean, we had, last, when pandemic started, we had something lined up at Northside, I think like last March, and I think before then I hadn't played in a month or so. So yeah, it was probably like last February, January was my last gig.
Oh,
before
wow.
This past Saturday night where I saw Jeff Keys.
Yeah, and that band that played after you, it was a bunch of high school kids, but they were playing like 70s funk music. It was weird.
Oh, really?
Weird, but stellar.
Yeah, I mean, they were all great.
They're called
The Manly Hero.
Manly Hero. Yeah, the Manly Hero. Go look them up because I know, and you're going to go online and be like, what, these 12-year-old kids are playing music? And I'll tell you, me and my guitarist were standing next to the stage going, oh my God. I mean, they blew us away. They were amazing.
We were just shocked that how would these kids even know this music? None of them were anywhere near being born when
they're playing
music
like
was popular.
Stevie Wonder, but like some obscure Stevie Wonder stuff. And
when you say obscure, like obscure, like what songs?
Oh, well, all right, not obscure, but something you wouldn't expect. Like you would expect what, Higher Ground or something like that. And they did Isn't She Lovely?
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So like stuff you'd know, but not what a cover band would normally play, Not
like no Mon Cherie more.
No, but they would have knocked it out of the park. I mean, their musicianship was ridiculously good.
Yeah, for high school kids.
Yeah,
they blew me away.
I love that. I love that that's what they're doing is like the oldies.
Well, they come home from high school, probably weren't doing their homework, but would just rehearse all night long for 7 days a week, probably.
Well, that's what we did in high school.
Did you?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I joined a band in high school. So, and the rest of the members were 5-6 years older than me.
Yeah.
I have a common trait of hanging around people that are 5 and 6 years older than me.
I did that too.
Get home from school, go straight to the practice room, wait for the guys to get off work, and then just, jam for 3 or 4 hours.
Were you playing with your brother?
No, that was around the time that I was actually teaching him how to play. He wanted to play because I was in the band, and he thought that was really cool, and he wanted to learn how to play. So I started showing him how to play, and he blew past me, and maybe like a year. He's one of those people that just he's got it.
See, you were like Jimmy Vaughn and Stevie Ray Vaughan. Jimmy taught Stevie how to play, and then boom.
Yep, there he went.
Yeah, their band. I finally convinced my boss to let me buy this thing for the office called Soundtrack Your Brand. So before we were listening, we were completely shackled to the Serious Business, right? The Serious Business player. Yeah. And there was 2 channels that we could listen to, because any of the other ones, so you put it on the 80s station, maybe you'll get Madonna and then something else. And then all of a sudden it's the Scorpions, it's Rat, Motley Crue, which is not good.
That's the hair metal station.
Yeah. So it was like we were stuck with these 2 stations. So she let me buy this thing. And so now I can import playlists that I make from Spotify into this thing. So, I mean, you don't even know. We have the coolest fucking music of any doctor's office, and nobody appreciates it. I sit there and I say to myself, I listen, I'm like, you people don't even know what this took from me. There's like 300 songs on here, but one of the bands, it will just add stuff from some of the songs that I put on there, and they added some St. Paul and the Broken Bones.
Oh, cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So Soundtrack Your Brand, they're all about St. Paul.
I went in to get a boil lance the other day, and I was listening to Run the Jewels the whole time. It was great. I love this doctor's office.
At least they didn't boil your lance.
We were listening to Ghostface Killer when that happened.
Oh, right.
Tim was going to join us, but he decided last minute not to. But he says that he'll be back next week, so hopefully, cross your fingers.
Babies.
He's a cute baby. He's cute.
Overrated.
And I don't think she realizes that the baby is named after Gilbert Gottfried in Tim's mind. She may not know that. I think she feels like it's a family name.
Well, see, I thought it was a family name, but I think she named it after Gilbert from another TV show.
I was able to trick my first wife into naming our first daughter Reagan Anakin Lawler.
No way.
Nice.
Yeah. And so Reagan, she was like, "Oh, that's so pretty." She didn't realize that I named her after Reagan from The Exorcist. And then Anakin was Anakin before the prequels came out. So it was, it was an obscure, more obscure name. Yeah, and then that happened, and but no, she turned out great. So,
well, how does your daughter how does she feel? Now she's grown up with the movie.
She has,
and the fact that her name is Anakin.
Well, she only in the last 2 years has finally watched Star Wars. She always refused to watch it. I think because of that, maybe.
Right.
Because she got teased a little bit in school about it, and I always heard about that. But she enjoys it now. Now she likes the uniqueness of having, a name that not everyone has. But
what did they say to her? Like, what's your brother's name? Jar Jar Binks?
Yeah.
I mean, I named my oldest after a arcade that I used to go to on the boardwalk.
Was that known to the wife?
It helped. The name came up anyway.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh yeah, well, that was my favorite place to go when I was a kid. There's a whole network of arcades on the Jersey Shore called in Ocean City, New Jersey, called Jilly's Arcade.
No, I guess she's really lucky that it wasn't called a Nickelodeon.
Right.
My son R2D2 loves Star Wars.
Does he like?
Yeah.
he likes that.
Fucking loves it.
Your dog C3PO.
Hey everybody, Tim Andrews here from Radio Labyrinth. I haven't been on the show in a couple of weeks because, we have a new addition to our household, and his name is Gilbert Pratt Andrews. He is an amazing little boy, and I love him to pieces, and I'm so glad he's here. And there's some business I want to take care of. First of all, thank you to every one of you out there who's given us well wishes and who's sent us gifts and things like that. It's just amazing. All the nice people who listen to this show and also to the podcast, The Doctrine. And I want to thank Jeff, Steph, and Dustin for doing such a great job, and Roby for coming on the show, and Brian Silverbacks for coming on the show, and everybody who's just been on the show and in lieu of me being on the show. I'll be back, shortly. And until that time, I do want to thank a couple of people. I want to thank our brand new Radio Labyrinth producer. His name is Marty Johnson. He came in at the producer level, so thank you very much. You got a t-shirt coming your way. And I also want to thank our new sponsor, Kyle Thomas. Now, we met Kyle out at Mike's Place, Atlanta Pizza in Euro. And what a great guy. And I just want to say, hey, thank you very much for coming on as a sponsor. Listen to me. I sound like an idiot, blah, 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 blah. But I wanted to get this done. And you're owed a t-shirt as well. You need to tell me what kind you want, because I'm just going to pick one. Maybe you might not like it. So go to the store. Look at that storefront too. I want to talk about what we're going to be promoting for Kyle. His wife has a new Etsy store. His wife's name is Lindsay, and it's called CardstockCreationCo. Okay, and if you want to reach them, first of all, you go to Etsy.com shop. CardstockCreationCo, CO. So it's CardstockCreationCo, or you can email CardstockCreationCo@gmail.com. And I'm looking at all sorts of cool things from the Etsy store for baby, for events. These are some really cool items. Printing. You're just going to have to go see it. Okay, I'm going to send Dustin some of the items that you can get. Listen, you got advent calendars, aprons, hat decals. You can give one to your electrician. Nail art, name tags, reverse canvas picture, paper flowers, all sorts of cool stuff. And like I said, I'm going to send Dustin some pictures, so while I'm blathering and while the electrician's doing stuff, you'll be able to see some of these images. So thank you again to Marty and to Kyle. Sorry it took so long to get you guys into the program like this, but moving forward, here we go. Take care, everybody. I will see you soon, and keep it canon.
You were taking a little bit of a vacation, Steph. Fill us in on your amazing time off.
I didn't do anything. I don't know why Jeff put that in there. Like I did something. I did nothing.
You didn't go out of town?
No, I was supposed to go out of town. And honestly, there was like a bunch of family drama going on. My sisters and my mom and all kinds of other crap. And I haven't had a vacation since, January of 2020.
Really?
Yeah. And I thought, I don't want to spend a week off in this bullshit in the crime capital of the United States for a week. I'd rather just stay here and clean some closets out. And that's what I did.
Wait, the crime here is getting really bad. We're inching up towards Detroit.
Yeah, we're right behind Detroit.
Well,
if not taking them over.
Atlanta's still not quite there yet. Detroit's had the most violent crime in the country title 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
So we got that going for us.
Good for, I was going to say, good for them.
Some guy just got shot while jogging over by me.
By us. I know.
But that guy was crazy.
And then he hit a guy with a car.
Yeah.
It's like shooting a guy wasn't enough. He had to run somebody over a couple of minutes afterward.
I think that was over near Das Barbecue.
If you look up the stats, they talk about how the shootings are comparable to Chicago and Atlanta. Like we're kind of getting to that point, but Chicago is the raping-ass city you've ever seen.
Oh, really?
Their rapes, I mean, they out-rape us by like 200 and some rapes. So I don't know what it is.
Get raping Atlanta.
It's not funny, but when you say they out-rape us, it's kind of funny.
I know. I kind of think, do you think it's because of the Southern hospitality here? Like that's why it's less rapey? I don't know if that's...
Do you mind if I do that to you?
But yeah, that's all I did, guys. Cleaned out a bunch of crap.
Go out there, go into the woods, set up a tent, go sleep under the stars.
I'm not a tenter. I'd be a glamper.
All right. Well, I've done glamping recently. I think you need that, man. You go out there, you look at the stars, you breathe the fresh air out there, and you just go, and then you can come back here to this S-hole.
I'm afraid of enjoying myself because I feel like if I enjoy myself, the hammer of the gods swiftly falls. So I'm better to just stay in this lane of not really being happy or sad because I don't like the fall.
You don't like the fall.
Don't rock the boat.
All right, well, I guess that makes sense. I can't talk to you. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have to kidnap you in a white van, blindfold you.
Carnival.
ether rag, and then you're gonna wake up in a beautiful resort somewhere, and it's gonna be wonderful.
Oh God, Ira, I wouldn't believe it. And then like the next day, half my family would be killed in a car accident.
Yes, the odds are that would happen.
Like, oh, you feel joy, Steph?
Yeah, we're glad to have you back, though.
Oh, thank you
Yes,
guys.
very
You guys
much
did
so.
great. You guys did great while we all been out. You and Jeff held it down.
Are you in the Tron motorcycle grid?
Yeah.
I am.
I love it.
Always in my mind.
Yeah.
Looking for a user.
I never saw the second Tron. Was it good?
Oh man, it was really good.
That's what I heard, because it's
if you
on,
liked the first Tron, then you'd like the second.
Well, of course I liked the first Tron. I was like 7. It was amazing when it came out.
I don't know. People have a weird love-hate with that movie. You either really like it or you really despise it.
Well, I'm sure it hasn't aged well. I mean, have you watched it recently?
It's not aged well, but it still has such a unique production value that you almost can let it slide a little bit.
But man, watching that movie and then going back to play that game all the time in the arcade that I named my daughter after, it's amazing.
It's a game I used to play all the time.
Yeah, I played the game. I played the hell out of that game.
Oh yeah.
Which was your favorite game on the game?
Well, the motorcycles probably, but the Frisbee is close second.
Yeah, that was mine.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because the second one, what's it called? Legacy or something?
Yeah, Tron Legacy.
Yeah, that's on Disney Plus, so I'm going to check it out.
It's good. I mean, they could have done a little better with the special effects to make Bridges look young.
Yeah,
it was a little overdone. He kind of looks plasticky, but
I'm telling you, like if they would have done the what do they call it?
The deep fake.
The deep fakes, like you're suggesting for all these movies.
Yeah.
Why haven't they done that?
They don't. I don't think they want to do it. One, you have legal problems with wherever you get the source material from, unless the same studio owns the property that you're taking the deep fake from.
Well, who's this guy that's doing a deep fake Tom Cruise? Why don't they just do it like that? Because that guy.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
Well, they've started. A lot of those deep fake guys now have started to recruit impersonators that do the voices and the mannerisms, and then once you put that face on top of it, you've got the full package. Right. Because the biggest problem was people were putting perfect faces onto people doing it, but then you it took you out of it because you definitely knew that they didn't act or sound like the person.
Right.
But Control Delete Face is a guy on YouTube. He makes some really good ones. He did one recently with Gary Oldman in The Professional, but he took Jim Carrey's face and put it on top, and he did the whole scene of them going in the house and shooting the house up, and that whole speech and monologue, and it's perfect. It's like Stanley. It's supposed to be Stanley Ipkiss from The Mask. Like in another life, he was this cop that was in this thing, and it's awesome. It's on the Radio Shack. You can if you guys want to look. I posted it on there a couple of weeks ago.
All right.
But let's get into what we watched.
Watched the Mick Foley A&E biography. I'm still loving these A&E wrestler biographies, even though I wasn't only into wrestling for a short time. But these biographies are done so well. And the Mick Foley one's good.
Was he multiple people? Did he have more than one character?
Buddy Love and Mankind and Cactus Jack. That was a real good one. I watched the Mike Tyson documentary that I think it came on ABC called The Knockout. It was a 2-part, like 4-hour documentary about Mike Tyson. That was real good.
Yeah. I
watched all of Solos on Prime, which I was trying to get you guys to watch, but no, I don't think you guys got into it.
Well, I tried. I at your recommendation, I tried 1.5, and I said, I'm out.
And they're just like a one towards the end. Like I think episodes maybe 6 and 7 have 2 people in them, but all of the first ones are just one actor.
And Anne Hathaway is an amazing actress, right?
Yeah.
Can I say actress anymore? We have to say actor for everybody now, right?
But
she annoys. She annoys the hell out of me for some reason. What is that? Does that happen with you guys too?
I think it's because she looks like a Alice in Wonderland character. in her face, like always. Like she'd be in a tree, like her face be coming out of a bush.
I feel like she has too much stage acting kind of antics. I feel like she really wants to be a stage actor, and everything's so expressive, and I don't know what it is. I can't pinpoint it, but there's something about her.
I like the sci-fi stuff though, the time travel stuff that was
very Black Mirror, obviously.
Yeah, that was what grabbed me really. The sci-fi concepts. I could take or leave a lot of the actors, but I enjoyed it. I watched the whole series. Watched Bo Burnham Inside. Did you guys check that out yet?
I watched like the first 10 minutes of it, and then I realized that I probably need to watch it with Neil or he'll get mad, because it was very funny. I was crying in his song
some
that he was doing.
real gems on there.
Really?
And he filmed and edited and directed and everything just all by himself, literally by himself during the pandemic. So it's pretty fun. Yeah, it's cool to watch.
It was really good.
And Mare of Easttown. That's why Ira's here. We're going to talk a little Mare of Easttown.
Mare. Yeah, I feel like when was the finale? 2 weeks ago now?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't remember what happened.
Did you watch it all yet?
I watched it all in one day.
Oh, you did? You liked it that much?
Yeah.
Wow.
That was like my last day before I had to go back to work. So I watched them all in one day.
No kidding. That must have been a depressing day.
It was, but it was good though, just because I really liked the show a lot. And
did you go out and get yourself a hoagie after that? And did you get a Rolling Rock? Did you get Rolling Rock, or did you get a Yingling? What did you get?
Get you some water.
Yeah,
I would never get Rolling Rock. Is disgusting. We all know it tastes like
but I did drink that.
Yeah,
I drank it when I was 16 because I couldn't get shit else. I would drink
Pennsylvania. That's what you drank.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I would drink Rolling Rock, but I'd much rather have a Yingling or whatever the hell. It tastes way better. But I was caught off guard here and there. Whenever little dude Chris, what's his face? Dude from American Horror Story, when he got shot.
Oh, Evan Peters.
Evan Peters. Yeah, what did I say, Chris? Anyway, yeah, that was. I wasn't expecting him to go like a few episodes before the end of the
spoiler alert.
Series.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah, I thought Kate Winslet she was so good. I mean, and they did a much better job than the stupid Undoing with doing the deflection of who it could be.
Yeah. Right.
I didn't know who it was until the last episode, really.
Right. And were you satisfied with that conclusion?
Yeah, no, I thought they acted it very well. Yeah. And the mother, I mean, she was...
Yeah, with Jean Smart?
Yeah, no, Jean Smart, yes, but then the mother of the kid.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Her friend. Yeah.
Jean Smart is having a moment right now, though.
I know.
She is amazing on Hacks. She was great as Kate Winslet's mom on Mare of Easttown.
I know. So Jeff cracked me up because we were talking, I think it was before the last episode aired of Mare, and Jeff and I were texting, and he goes, so who do you think did it? Do you think it was Billy? Do you think, who? Maybe it was the second to last episode. And I said, oh, I think it's Jean Smart, as a goof. And Jeff said, yeah, but from the Hacks.
She just shows up and kills.
That makes sense.
Designing women.
Right.
That was pretty much the style of clothes they were still wearing.
Yeah, sure.
That's true. Yeah, it never evolved in that part of the country. So I mean, it was. I'm not sure if I'm totally satisfied with the conclusion about who done it. I thought it was a little like, oh, okay, yeah, they're really gonna go. But after I thought about it for a while, I was like, all right, that it kind of shows why everybody was acting the way they were acting, and but then I thought a bunch of scenes could probably have been eliminated once you knew that, and it seemed to wrap up a little too quickly and too tight. You know what I mean?
And her daughter didn't really have much to do.
No.
Like what was the point of that whole storyline with the?
What was the point of what's his name? Pierce.
Oh yeah, Guy Pearce.
Guy Pearce.
That was just a red herring to make
right.
Oh, of course, Guy Pearce is in it. He's got to be the murderer,
right? And then it's just like, yeah, well, I'm leaving town. See ya. Okay.
Well, so I like Mare of Easttown, and we'll get into it in the news, but I don't know if they're going to do another season of that. I've watched all the story of late night on CNN. That was that 6-part documentary about the late night host, leading all the way up to from, like Jack Parr,
right,
Johnny Carson to up to today.
Yeah, I've watched the first. I watched the first 2 of it. I need to watch.
They're all very good.
Yeah.
And I watched Alone. The season 8 just premiered last Thursday on History Channel.
Is there a vegetarian Alone? Because I'll watch that.
I think there's been maybe vegetarian people on there.
There have
10 people.
Yeah, there was a couple of ladies. I think it was like season 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was at least one lady that was a vegetarian, because I was like, how's this lady going to survive? But she knew all of these plants and knew what they were. So that, gave her a big, boost. But then once it started, like the weather turned and it started snowing and stuff, it was like, nope, there's nothing to find.
I was going to say, what was she eat for protein? Nuts. She
I don't remember
nuts out there.
I don't remember what happened to her.
I don't think she made it that far.
Okay.
But that's really good. And there's a contestant from Wellsboro, which is like one town over from Mansfield, where Tim and I are from. So I want to try and connect with her and see if we can get her on the show. Sweet Tooth, you guys into that? I watched all of it in 2 days.
No spoilers, please.
Yeah. That's very good though. Will Forte is in it, and a bunch of unknowns. I don't know if I recognize anybody else. I think Reese Darby shows up towards the end.
The big man is from Game of Thrones, right?
Is that where he's from? I didn't recognize him from anything.
Well, I was sitting there going, where do I know this guy from? Because I knew I'd seen him before. And then somebody said it. And like, he was that guy on Game of Thrones. I got locked in the vault.
Okay.
You remember that? He was like the king who got, well, anyway.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember that.
That guy.
I didn't remember that was him though.
Yeah.
That's on Netflix. That's really good.
It is. It's weird though. I mean, it's what's it, like a DC thing?
Yeah, it's a Vertigo Comics, which is that offshoot of DC.
I see. Yeah, I mean, I don't know anything about that world, so I'm like, what is this and why? And then what? It's rated TV 14, so it's kind of innocent too.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like kids would love it just because of the hybrid, half animal, half children.
Have you guys watched this too at all?
Yeah, I haven't watched it.
I've watched 2 episodes. Yeah.
And what do you think, Dustin?
I like it. I like the concept. Although the concept is kind of getting overdone with, something affecting the whole world, populations drop.
I think they handled that really well though. The way they made it kind of an allegory for the pandemic.
Yeah. Well,
do you think it was I don't know if that was, when did
they start making this thing?
Yeah.
Because it is.
I was going to say, I don't know how long, it's been on the shelf, if it was done and sitting waiting to come out, but
there's stuff like they're delivering a trainload of toilet paper and hand sanitizer to a place. And it's not mentioned. You just have to notice it,
Right. I know it's really on the nose with the pandemic stuff,
But the special effects are amazing. The digital effects on the hybrid stuff is really cool.
Yeah, it looks the cinematography and everything. It's just the whole look of the show is really amazing. Like every frame could be like a painting or something.
I wonder where they shoot that.
No, I don't know.
It's got to be all over. It's maybe Canada.
New Zealand.
I just assume everything is
New
here
Zealand.
now.
Yeah, it's all done in New Zealand.
So that's why they could shoot it during the pandemic, because New Zealand got that shit knocked out of the woods.
Yep,
that's true. And they didn't let us in. That's why.
Yeah, I loved it. I watched it all real fast, and I felt like it was the best new Mandalorian episodes I've seen in months. Because it's like you got this big tough guy protecting a little kid.
That's true.
A special little kid. Yeah.
I thought you meant because they had a new adventure every week or something.
Yeah, I mean they do, but
it's Netflix. You can bang them all out in one sitting if you want.
I watched the Friends reunion. Did anybody check that out?
No, but what was it like? But I never watched Friends when it was first on.
Watch Friends when it was a thing.
I saw a handful of episodes, but I never watched it. Come on, I was a Seinfeld guy. Come on.
Yeah.
All I heard of Friends too. The only thing I heard about it was his slurring.
Yeah, Matthew Perry did not look great, but he did well on the reunion, I thought, and everybody was there for it and took it seriously, and it was fun. I think super fans of the show would really like it because all the deep dives they did on shit, like the opening montage and the behind the scenes stories and stuff. I enjoyed it, even though I wasn't a super huge Friends fan. I mean, I watched, but it wasn't like my top show of all time or anything. And my staff pick is Loki. I started watching it just before we started recording, and so far it's really good.
Yeah. I just
started on Disney Plus today.
Yes, I don't do any of the Marvel stuff, and since WandaVision, which I didn't get that either because I don't watch any Marvel. I don't know any Marvel. So,
but you know the character of Loki.
I know, of course. No, I don't.
You know him from the cartoons when you were a kid?
Nope.
Wow.
All right, I'm leaving now. See you guys.
He's Thor's brother, and he's a trickster god.
Oh yeah. No, no, I don't know it. But is it good though?
Yeah, it's good. And Owen Wilson is in it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm in that one.
Wow.
Even if you don't like Marvel stuff, you should watch it.
I think it's only 6 episodes, so you can get into it, Ira.
6 episodes.
He didn't. Owen Wilson. He was definitely not a Marvel. I'll listen to an interview with the showrunner.
Yeah.
And she had to pitch the entire episode to him and basically explain all of Loki's storyline from the 10 years of storyline. And he was like, okay, I think we can do this. And I've watched the first one, and it is good. I mean, he plays that character very well because it's him. I mean, I mean, he always kind of plays himself, but this one definitely, it's an interesting story.
He's Dignan from Bottle Rocket.
Yeah. He's always going to be Dignan.
That's the only movie where he's kind of not himself. It's funny.
He just needs to get a flat top again, and he'd be right back to it.
I don't know. I feel like doesn't his nose look like it's gotten more broken over the years? It's worse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And in this show, everything's lit from above, so like it gets a perfect shadow on it every shot. And it really.
I wonder why that is.
I think it's because your nose and your ears never stop growing.
Right.
And that's why you have like these huge ears when you're old. And I think that's what's happening to his nose.
Yeah.
He's gonna be Jimmy Durante before it's over with.
This big long broken banana.
Hot cha cha cha.
So that's my stuff.
That's all we need. All right. Good night, everybody.
Well, I don't have a staff pick this week, but I saw, Jeff, you put on here you had Cruel Summer.
Oh
Did
yeah.
you watch the finale?
Summer. I have not watched the finale yet.
Me neither. So don't say anything. Yeah. But I'm caught up till the very end. Yeah. And this is like a teeny bopper show, but it's not a teeny bopper show. I can't really explain it. I don't know which one of these bitches are telling the truth. I mean, they've done a good job with that. I'm not sure which one of them's lying. So, but I watched Mr. In Between. I'm all caught up on. And
I got the most recent one to watch.
I know. No, I'm gonna get on that because I'm gonna get get Hulu again. I promise.
All right.
And I'm gonna watch it because everything's on Hulu, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
And I watched all of Startup, all 3 seasons.
And
I am infuriated because this was some Crackle show, right? And they throw it on Netflix.
Yeah.
And then they don't tell you when they put it on there that there's no plans to make a 4th season, and it ends
with the cliffhanger.
Completely cliffhangery. Yeah.
But is it good all the way through though?
It was. I liked it. It was, it was all in Miami, and it was the tech world. It was like the Haitian gangsters, and I mean, it was all kinds of crap going on. Ron Perlman, he's great in it.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good.
I saw the trailer for it, and I was like, I might check this out.
I liked it, and I kind of went on a documentary binge. The Donut King, loved that. That was so good.
That one where that guy has all those people who working for him who are like gay and trans, and all their arms and legs were bitten off by a donut machine.
What are you talking about? No.
What? Yeah, what is he talking about?
I don't know.
Donut King. He's in jail and he's married to that guy.
What?
And he's fighting that bitch, Carol Baskin Robbins.
Carol Baskin Robbins from Dunkin' Donuts.
What is that?
Not the same movie, Jeff. This is the Donut King, not the Tiger King.
It's not the sequel to Tiger King?
No, unless the Tiger King is now a Cambodian refugee who moved to LA and started a donut empire. No, it's not the same at all. But it's a good flick. I didn't realize that there's so many mom and pop donut shops in California versus anywhere else in the country.
And aren't they all being run by like relatives of his, like his nieces and nephews and grandchildren and uncles and aunts?
No, they're not all relatives of his at all. They're actually other Cambodian refugees that he helped come over here.
Oh, okay. So
he helped get them started. Yeah. And then he would lease them the buildings to them and make money off that. And he built an empire and then he lost it all. So it's one of those kind of stories where it's
riches to rags documentary, basically.
Yeah, but it's a really good doc. And I watched the Kid 90. If you watched that,
no,
that's
that Soleo Moonfry.
Right,
we talked about it back when it first came out. I think.
Did you see it?
It was done very well. Yeah.
Yeah, it was done very well. I liked it a lot. And
what's that on? That's on a weird channel, isn't it?
It's on Hulu too, I think.
Yeah, Hulu, I think.
Yeah, see, none of this Hulu stuff I know.
It's weird when you see all those pictures of all the kids that she knew, and they're all dead. They all killed themselves. It's nuts. And I watched the Nickelodeon, The Orange Years. Did you watch that?
I haven't watched that yet. I need to get on that.
So much
fun.
A
documentary about it?
Yeah. And it starts out with you can't do, which it goes all the way back to I had forgotten this, that Double before Dare? Nickelodeon. Do you remember Pinwheel?
Sounds familiar.
Pinwheel spinning around. Look at my pinwheel and see what I found. So that was the beginning.
It was worth it just for that.
That was before Nickelodeon. So everybody that did Pinwheel, which was a kids show, they decided, let's make a kids network. And that's how it got its start. But it chronicles everything. That you can't do that on television, all the way up to like new crap that I don't care about. But the stuff that we do care about, they really give it its due. So I highly recommend that documentary. It's really good, especially if you liked a lot of those old. I watched 20 minutes of The Conjuring. It was trash.
Yeah, I was going to ask you how it was before I even bothered. I've never watched any of those Conjuring movies, but I saw it was free on Disney Plus or whatever, or HBO Max or whatever it was on.
The curse continues. Every free movie on HBO Max is bad. Anyway, The Handmaids. I don't know if this ends badly. I'm going to be so mad that I've wasted all this time. And I'm rewatching Black Summer because the second season of Black Summer is coming out in July. And I thought, well, it's been 2 years since I watched it. It's been so long since they made a second season. And we watched it last night. And then Neil had nightmares all night.
Nothing like zombie nightmares.
Black Summer is done. It's better than any zombie movie I've seen in a long time. It's freaking, you're on the edge of your seat the whole time.
It's hard to believe it was made by those same people that made World or what was that show, Project Z or whatever.
Yeah, which was like a silly show.
Yeah, because that was very campy, and Black Summer was not campy at all. It was great.
No, they do a very good job of putting you in the apocalypse. Like if this scenario happened, this is exactly how I could see it unfolding. But anyway, that's all my crap. I don't have a staff pick.
Oh, we'll watch for Black Summer season 2 when it comes out.
Yeah, July sometime.
Well, I watched even less than you did. I watched a couple episodes of Sweet Tooth we talked about. Loki, first episode. Now, Jeff had recommended this audiobook project, Hail Mary, by Andy Weir, which I love. The Martian. It was like one of my favorite books ever. I've probably listened to it, like 5 or 6 times.
Really?
The Martian. Yeah, I loved it. But this is his new book, and it's so good. I listened to it twice.
Wow. I started listening to it again too. I'm about halfway through. He just started. He just met Rocky in my re-listen.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, just like The Martian, what makes Andy Weir's books so good is that he explains all of the science and all of the math,
but he doesn't do it in a way that makes it hard sci-fi. He does it in an entertaining way that keeps it interesting.
Right. That the way in the movie The Martian, the way Matt Damon would joke around by talking to the camera and talking to himself, that's all from the book, almost verbatim. And this book is even more so that way, but it puts the story itself is so vast. I mean, on a big scale, but it's also extremely quaint because it's just a few characters that you deal with, and you're doing a lot of back and forth. The story reveals the past the closer it gets to the future.
Right.
And that very much is going to be something I'll probably listen to it, 2 or 3 more times. But it's definitely right now my favorite book. Project Hail Mary. It's on Audible. And the guy that reads it on Audible is amazing, that he can do so many accents and make it sound like so many different people.
Yeah, he does different country accents and different character voices and stuff.
Yeah, the New Zealand accent that he pulls off. I mean, and the Dutch accent. Yeah. I mean, and you can tell the difference between the two.
Yep.
Go ahead.
His Rocky voice is awesome. The voice of the alien.
Yeah, how they pull that off, how they make an alien.
I hope they use him for the movie, because they're making a movie of this book already.
Yeah, and it's going to be who'd you say was going to play?
I think Ryan Gosling is playing the lead guy.
I don't know.
Come on, he's good.
It's Lord and Miller, the guys that make the Lego movies, that are directing it. So,
okay. What's your problem with Ryan Gosling?
Yeah, seriously.
My problem with Ryan Gosling would be Ryan Gosling playing this character. It doesn't fit his. He doesn't. I don't think Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, the guy's supposed to be a kind of a loner. He's a scientist and a nerd,
and a school teacher.
It's kind of against type for Ryan.
Ryan Gosling's too hot to play this guy.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, that's fair enough. I'll give you that.
Yeah. His good looks are working against him.
You wouldn't believe that Ryan Gosling doesn't have a girlfriend and just does science and shit.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But
I'm giving him a chance though, because I love the book so much.
Yeah. I mean, I want to see how they bring this whole story to life, on screen. And it's definitely, I mean, I think after The Martian took off, he kind of writes with movie, the idea of it being a movie in mind. And I think he even mentioned that in one of those AMAs I was reading on Reddit, that he kind of does think in a screenplay kind of way,
right?
Which is cool. I mean, it'll definitely translate. If you can get that story on a movie, with the same, pulling at the heartstrings the same way, and the awe and everything, it'll definitely be worth it. But mostly I listen to a lot of podcasts recently. I'm a huge fan of Your Mom's House, Tom Segura and his wife, Christina Pajinski. They always, I've been listening to them, actually I started listening to them at the same time I started listening to Radio Labyrinth. So I've been listening to them for years, but I mean, Tom has kind of in those years kind of blown up as far as in popularity.
He's one of my favorite stand-ups. I love his stand-up.
Oh, I'll put his stand-ups on Netflix and I'll just watch them over. I'll just let him play like over and over again. But he's been, they've been doing a lot of cool stuff on there. They started doing some live, pay-per-view show, not really pay-per-view, but they do it on their own website and basically anything goes on those live views. I mean, they almost get taken off of YouTube pretty regularly for the wild stuff that they put on there. They do a lot of video. They bring in a lot of crazy videos from the internet that people send them. So you'll see a guy, jumping off a roof and breaking his legs, and Tom just thinks it's hilarious, so he'll just laugh or not, and she always jumps him about what he thinks is funny. But I've been listening to them a lot. Kevin Smith's pod, I got it, like we were talking about on previous episode. I've been listening to back catalog stuff of all the Kevin Smith's podcasts, and
I finally listened to his most recent episode with Mosier. That was really good.
Yeah, did you see how it was kind of ambiguous as to whether or not Mosier would even come back? And they just didn't mention it. Almost like there was a part 2. It's almost like they recorded a couple of episodes like they used to do, and it may come back up. But that was a good one. Yeah, I don't really have. Oh, and The Conjuring, I started watching it, and I think I'll finish it just to say just to kind of complete it in my head. But yeah, it's not as good. I really enjoyed. The first one was okay. The first one,
I love the first one.
The second one, like we've talked about before, it was okay. But the other movie, the Enfield Haunting, or The Haunting of Enfield, that the British BBC version, that one's really good. That miniseries,
it's really good.
But like I said, I like these movies. I like the Warrens. I like but I'm not a real big Annabelle. I didn't like any of those, any of the other side movies I never cared for. But I was hoping this one would at least kind of keep the momentum of the first 2 Conjuring movies going. But I may finish it. I may just nope out. And
I'm thinking about going to the movie theater to see A Quiet Place 2.
Quiet Place 2, yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody I know that's went said it was great.
Yeah.
I think that's a movie you want to see in the theater too.
It's only playing in theaters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are they going to release it on anything like HBO Max or anything like that relatively soon, or no?
I think they said they were going to give it at least a month or 2 in the theater before they do any on demand or anything.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that'll be the one good thing about this whole pandemic situation with the movies, is that after this, movies, instead of waiting 3 or 4 months to come out, they'll be coming out like it goes, it gets a short run at the movie theater and then it's right on television. So maybe that'll be the only silver lining.
Yeah.
No, I'm ready to get out there though and see a movie in the theater, I think.
Yeah, we need to try to get everybody together and go watch something like Stripes. See if we can find Stripes. That'd be a good one to see. Ira, what have you been watching besides your
Mare of Easttown?
Yeah, I mean, everything we've talked about is pretty much all I've really gotten into. Podcasts as well. Well, you just brought up Quiet Place 2, and today I was just listening to Conan's podcast with John Krasinski, which is a great one. To him talking about, and they did talk. I didn't think they would talk that much about this movie because I guess they go way back and they're friends, and I thought they would just goof around.
Yeah, Krasinski was an intern at Conan.
Right. So they got into all that, which was great. Yeah, just a great interview overall. And I think Conan loved this movie so much that he really wanted to know a lot about it, and he asked great questions. So, I mean, if you're looking forward to seeing this or you've seen it already, that's a great one to listen to. Conan O'Brien needs a friend.
Needs a friend, yeah. Does he give him shit for killing himself off in the first movie?
Yes.
Does he?
Oh yeah, they get into that whole discussion. He's like, I mean, when you realize that it was going to be where you're like, damn, I killed myself. And then he's like, spoiler alert. But yeah, so that was good. And then Gilbert had Brad Bird on. Did you listen to this one, Jeff?
No, I haven't listened to that one yet.
Brad Bird and the composer that he's used for, I guess, a ton of his movies, for The Incredibles and for, so he's directing the new Mission Impossible. And I guess this is his first major live action movie. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
So that was, and it's in 2 parts. And I think they were having such a good time with those guys that the second part I think is coming, but that's a good one. So Gilbert podcast with Brad Bird, and they get into, all kinds of stuff. And then, I mean, I'm watching, like I said, I watched Mare, and I was telling Steph before you came on, I was telling those guys that I finished Invincible, which I think the last time I was on here, you guys were telling me to watch, and I hadn't yet.
Did you like it?
Oh yeah, I loved it. and I've recommended it to a lot of people, and they'd be like, "What is this?" you know, and yeah, it's great. I mean, it just got as you're watching it, you're like, "Oh my god, what is this? What is going on with this show?" But yeah, that was amazing. And then yeah, Jeff briefly brought up Hacks, which are you guys watching Hacks too?
I'm behind. I've seen the first couple episodes.
Well, see, and it kind of started off like, oh, this is pretty good. I mean, there's some laughs and I get what they're doing here and I got the show. But as it goes on, every episode gets better and better, actually, where I'm like, wow, they're really getting into some crazy stuff. So yeah, I would recommend that. I've been really, that's been one of my go-tos, you know. And then yeah, I'm 4 episodes in on Sweet Tooth, and I'm digging that. And then if I could kind of have a staff pick, it's funny, I'm going to give a staff pick for something that I've never watched, but the kids and I started watching that Lego Masters show.
Oh yeah,
you know, with Will Arnett hosting it.
Is the new season better? Because I started watching it and then I wasn't that into it and I kind of gave up. I wonder if
I'm not really into this.
Just started.
I'm not really into those types of shows anyway, but my kids are into Lego, so they were watching a few of the episodes from the first season, and I haven't watched the new season yet. But the reason I'm promoting it is because there's a Lego store that we have in town, like an independent Lego store that's in Noonan, south of the city, called Atlanta Brick Company, and I really like those guys, and we go there all the time. And it's just a great store, good people there, and the owner of the show is a contestant on season 2.
Oh, okay.
So apparently Will Arnett and the crew, they were down there shooting and everything. And I haven't watched it yet, but just to show some hometown solidarity.
I heard Will Arnett on Smartless a while back talking about being in Atlanta.
Exactly. And I heard that too. And I'm like, I wonder what he's here for.
Using Jason Bateman's apartment.
Exactly. And then I figured it out. I was like, oh, he's down here shooting that. Okay. So yeah, I'd say watch that just because we have a hometown connection, and
it's fun to watch them smash stuff, like smash the Lego stuff. That's the part that I like about the show. Right.
But yeah, I mean, I usually don't watch those kind of competitions, you know, the baking shows, and but yeah, I don't know. I thought I'd at least plug that and say we have a connection there. So yeah, that's all I got.
Cool.
Well, listen, you guys, I appreciate it. I'm sorry I can't stay the whole time, but I'm running late here. I gotta hit it.
Well, thanks for popping in.
Yeah, thanks for coming, man. Be sure you plug your gig in the Radio Shack when
that's fine. I will, and I will be active on the Shack, run by Dustin Lawler there, doing a great job. I'll tell you what, that group does crack me up more than any other group.
Yeah, they've got a little twisted sense of humor.
I know. Some of them too twisted. You guys are wackos.
Oh yeah, I've got a whole little section of stuff you've never seen.
Good. Well, I don't want to see it.
Yeah, you probably don't. Thanks, Ira.
Have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful week, and I will talk to you soon.
Bye, man.
Bye, man.
Keep it canon.
Keep it.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. It's always good when the Ira comes by.
I love Ira. Give it to us.
Well, like you were saying, Mare of Easttown not decided to have another season?
They gotta want to. Yeah, HBO must want to, because it's been the most talked about thing in the last few weeks, I think.
I know. I wonder what is holding them back. I mean,
I don't know anything about, was there source material? Is this based on a book? Or I don't know anything about it. So maybe they don't have.
Maybe there's not a story.
Yeah, there's not a story yet, but they need to get on it.
I mean, the second, there wasn't going to be a second season of Big Little Lies, Big Little Crap, like Jeff calls it. But I thought the second season was pretty good that they threw together. And it's probably going to be the same thing, where they didn't really have a direction for her to go, but they'll get back at it and just write her something, another case, something else.
I imagine she's going to get nominated for some shit though, for her work.
Yeah.
And maybe that'll push them over the edge to get on a second season.
And with everything being, I mean, the pandemic and production has, you know, it's kind of, there's the flow of production has been, you know, interrupted so much, you know, who knows what they've got lined up ahead of making any sequels at this point.
Right.
But one thing that is coming back is I Think You Should Leave. It's coming back in July.
Yeah, I cannot wait.
It's been 2 fucking years since that.
It's been that long already?
Yeah.
Man, I've already watched it a couple times all the way through.
Yeah, me too.
The one with the door when he's having the interview.
that's the first episode, the first sketch where it sets the tone for the entire show.
Just love it. I love it.
It's a push too. It's a push also.
No, it's not. It's a life philosophy I think a lot of us live by.
Where he just refuses to admit that he's wrong, and that just sets the tone for the entire show, and it's hilarious.
He's so funny.
Yeah, I think really You Should Leave with Tim Robinson coming to Netflix in July. I was so excited when I saw that announcement the other night.
I mean, our little campaign for Detroiters, I guess that's just never going to happen. We'll never, ever get him back.
But Sam Richardson is on, and he's in the trailer for season 2 of I Think You Should Leave with Tim Robinson.
Oh, the baby one, the baby pageant, when he was the host of that. That's definitely one of my favorites.
And speaking of Sam Richardson, he has that werewolf movie that's coming out soon that looks really good.
It does look funny.
Yeah.
Hacks, they've been renewed for a second season. Not surprising with the way that, the reception it's had. I've heard nothing but good things about it from everyone that mentions it. So I'm not really surprised that there's a new season.
They need to keep them together though, and that's the thing. They're maybe setting up that the Lorraine Newman's daughter, I forget what her character's name is, but that she's gonna get a job again, because that's the whole reason she was thrown in with Gene Smart, because she got fired from her writing TV gig, so she needed a job, so she got thrown in with Gene Smart. But I think in this most recent episode, she's getting offered another job back in Hollywood, so they're making it like maybe she's going to go back to Hollywood. But if there is another season, they got to keep those two together.
Elizabeth Olsen has officially said that WandaVision's not getting a season 2, and that's not really surprising. I mean, why would they?
Yeah.
I mean, it's, at least until, Marvel's, puts out the next Doctor Strange, that's supposed to be tied into. I mean, there's so much stuff that's going to happen that I don't think you would be able to create that whole thing over again. I mean, it had such a little, that was for lack of a better explanation, it was a show that was contained in a bubble, literally. And you can't really recreate that. And who would?
I thought it was supposed to lead right into the Doctor Strange movie, but that's not coming out for a while yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, it lead into it as far as the storyline goes.
Yeah.
Release times. But I mean, looking back, if you look back at some of the movies, the Marvel movies that do lead into each other, there was sometimes a year or 2 year gap between those. So it still may.
There need to be more of these shows that don't keep trying for more and more and more seasons. Like if you can tell a succinct, awesome story in one season, just do it.
No, I mean, that's only an American thing, because the British have been doing that for years. They'll put out, one season or 2 seasons if it in case is a whole story, and then they're done. There's no more. And I think you get better story that way. And then move on to something else, no reason to just keep, rehashing the same thing over and over again when, these actors can, or the whole productions can just make something new. That was really what I thought American Horror Story led with, was the idea that you could have a crew of people create something really good, and then the next season mix it all up and then do it again, almost like a troupe would do in a playhouse.
That's what they're doing with that Steve Buscemi show on TBS with him and Harry Potter. They do totally different characters, totally different story every season. I think they got a new season coming up soon, but they just tell a totally different tale for every season of this thing, and it's set in different time periods, and
that's cool.
Been just a troupe of the same actors telling different stories, so that's been pretty cool.
And they get a spinoff of American Horror Story called American Horror Stories that's starting this month. And each one is a short story every week. So
okay.
Just like,
that'll be cool.
Yeah, it's a spinoff of the so it's not a continuation or whatever, but it's called American Horror Stories. I think it starts at the end of June.
Cool. Now you'd put on here, there's a lot of documentaries coming out.
That to me looked, I mean, the Tribeca Film Festival every year, they usually do have a lot of interesting stuff that they are premiering, but what caught my eye was all of the documentaries they got coming out. Like Chappelle's got a new documentary, and the documentary on Rick James, I really want to see that.
Oh yeah.
I think it's gonna be really, they've got one on Dick Gregory, one on Aha, the group Aha.
Not.
Is it called One Hit Wonder?
But there's a lot of documentaries on there, and there was a really good movie that looks like it's a Soderbergh movie with Benicio del Toro where he plays a cop in Detroit in the 50s.
That's coming out is it on HBO Max? Maybe.
I don't know if
it's coming out soon though, but I've been hearing a lot of good stuff about that movie, Steven Soderbergh movie.
And it's premiering at the film festival at Tribeca or whatever, but it looks like there's a lot of good movies there this year. But that's the only reason why I put it on.
Right.
Oh, No Sudden Move. Yeah, that's the Benicio del Toro.
Yeah, that looks like out of all of the other movies that aren't docs, that's the one I want to see the most.
I think Don Cheadle's in it.
Yeah, Don Cheadle.
Yeah,
they've been advertising that one.
I think it's going to be released on the streaming service maybe after the Tribeca Film Festival, but I'm not positive. Don't quote me on that.
I'm quoting you on that. Jeff said it.
Because that doesn't seem like the type of movie I would have to rush out to a movie theater to see.
No, I prefer to watch that at home, probably.
It looks like something I would definitely watch.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Jeff, who died?
A few people died. Clarence Williams III from Mod Squad, 81 Link. Years old. Link, yeah.
What do you guys remember him from the most? What is he when you saw it that he had died? What popped in your head?
Oh, God bless it.
Half Baked.
Tales from the Hood.
For me, it was I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker. When he was the stepfather of the white kids in the Black Power deli that they had or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one just that just cracked me up. I'd forgot that he was the original Mod Squad guy, and that was a huge role at the time because there were very few. I think he was the first lead, African American lead in a TV show, a TV show like that.
Yeah.
It was super, and the show was so popular. It was such a hit show.
It was hip.
It was hip, for the time,
And F. Lee Bailey also passed. He was one of OJ's lawyers.
Among other people, who else is in hell that he represented?
I was going to say, was that the last alive lawyer that represented him?
Yeah, because I said if he ends up having to defend his life, he can hire Johnny Cochran and Robert Kardashian.
Yeah, they're all in the same place.
Oh, OJ.
Well, I mean, he represented like the Boston Strangler.
Yeah, he had a very storied career.
Yeah, I mean, he was really, he kind of swung for the fences when it came to the people that he would defend. I mean,
in cold blood, did he defend anybody that was in cold blood?
It was the Patty Hearst.
Oh, right, Petty.
Yeah,
okay.
That was the first big one I think that he did.
Character actor Larry Gelman just passed away on the 7th. You would know him if you looked up a picture of him. He was Vinny on The Odd Couple, and he was on Barney Miller a bunch of times. If you look up a picture of him, you would totally recognize him from a ton of movies and TV shows. He was on the Bob Newhart Show. And he was 90, so he had a pretty good run.
90?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But he was the last of the cast of Odd Couple, the poker playing buddies that were still alive. All those guys have finally passed. So there's probably a good poker game going on in heaven right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's who died.
All right. Well, it looks like next week, Tim has an interview that'll be out next week. That's going to be...
It's some of those guys from that Josh Warren project where they're doing that live action role-playing, LARPing D&D kind of movie.
Web series, The Campaign.
The Campaign.
Okay.
Yeah, Matt Metzger. Tim did an interview with Matt Metzger from The Campaign. Josh Warren, friend of the show, is working on that web series. Brian Silverbacks, he had told us about it and had posted some pictures online when he was out filming. And that, that whole concept, seems fun, like a group of friends LARPing. And I think it goes too far. It's kind of the whole concept is it goes a little too far. I think that throwback to maybe what was it, Tom Hanks movie Mazes and Monsters, with more of a comedic twist. That'll come out midweek next week. Next Saturday Tim should be back, and we'll start this circus all over again. Until then, please remember to
keep it
canon.